Hello y'all, this is Jennifer again, and we're on the Tennessee farm, and today we are, of course, canning maters. So, if y'all have a garden, hopefully y'all grow some of these. If you ain't, y'all can buy some. We're going to put some of these in some jars today, and I'm going to show y'all how to do it. So, you're going to need your pot, some water, you're going to need you some sugar and some salt, and some cold water in your sink. And you're going to need you a knife, of course, in your hands, because you're going to have to mash them up. And some sealing lids and some, let's see, you're going to need you one of these, things to put it in your jars with. And I like to have me some towels. I don't have all that fancy stuff everybody else got. So you ain't got to have nothing fancy to do this, guys. So stick around with me, and you know, this stuff's been handed down from generation to generation in my family. This is the old-fashioned way of doing it. I mean, you know, I'm just simple, and if y'all like to do the simple way, you know, this is me. So I've got some water about halfway up in my pot here. We're going to put our maters in our pot. We're going to heat them up, and when it starts striking a boil here, when they heat up real good, then we're going to take them off the heat. I'm just going to scoop them out and put them in some cold water in my sink. So we're going to put all of our maters in our pot. I've not got the stove on yet, so I'm just going to drop all of our maters here. I'm going to do this several times. I've got all kinds of maters over here, guys. I know I talk country. Everybody complains about my country talking. So if I talk too country for you, I'm sorry, but that's just me. It's just the way I am. Some people say tomatoes. I say maters. I do try to not be as bad at times, but I can't help it. It's just the way I am. It don't matter if you got some really ripe ones, you know, I might not do that. I mean, might use this on a hamburger tonight. You know, if you got a good one, keep it out. You know, keep you one for a hamburger tonight. Or if you want to get a mater sandwich, whatever. Keep you some good ones out. If you find a really, really good one in there, use you really ripe ones, guys, okay? But if you're not going to use it tonight, you know, just can it, you know? Got to can them. Alright. Let's go ahead and throw what we can in this thing here. We'll keep us a couple good ones out here. Which I've got more over here. We'll find more good ones that we can keep out for some stuff. Alright, we've got them in there. We're going to turn our oven on. We're going to turn it on high to get this thing started boiling. When it starts striking a boil, we will we'll take it off, and we'll put them in our cold as water we can get over here. If we have to, if it ain't cold enough, we'll throw a couple ice cubes in it to cool it down even more. But we want to strike these a boil, and then we'll come back whenever they strike a boil, and we'll show you how to put them in the sink to get the skins off. The skin will just roll right off of them. So I'll show you what we do as soon as they strike a boil. So I'll come back in just a minute, guys. Alright, guys, so we are here with our maters, and if you can see here, it's barely starting to strike a little bitty bit of a boil. That's what we're wanting. We do not want to scald the maters, so don't make them completely burn. We don't want them to burn. We want them to barely strike a boil. We want them to, if they are going to bubbling over boil, we don't want them to do that. So whenever they start barely starting to boil, that's what we want. So whenever they start doing this, we want to start mashing them down. So that's why I've got this in here. We're going to mash down all these maters, because with the part that's sticking out here, we want to make sure all that skin's going to come off. So make sure you start mashing these maters down, okay? We want to make sure all this skin's going to come off. So just mash these maters down, and then the ones on the bottom is what we're going to start taking out first, okay? So we're going to kind of rotate them around a little bit. So these down here should be getting ready to probably start taking out here in just a second. So we'll be right back when we start taking them out, and I'll show you what the water looks like when we start taking them out, okay? Okay, I have rotated all the tomatoes around from the bottom to the top. So all the tomatoes are rotated. The ones that was sticking out is on the bottom. So I'm going to turn my heat off. So it's off, and we're going to get these tomatoes out. So you see how that looks? The skin's wanting to come off of that already. That's what we want, guys. I want to put them in a bowl. And then we're going to take all these tomatoes and put them in our cold water over here. So let's get all these tomatoes out. So when I get all these in my bowl over here, what my bowl will hold, we'll take them over here and put them in our cold water. So just scoop them out with your spatula, whatever you got. If you got a big spoon, whatever. You just want to make sure you get, excuse me, all these ghetto ones on the bottom. Maybe if you missed a couple, whatever. But once they heat up, the skin will start coming off real good. But don't scorch them, okay? You don't want them to make a mess. You don't want them to taste bad. Don't make them taste bad. All right, we'll be right back with them over here at the sink. All right, we're at our sink. We have cold water. I even put some ice in there, but your water's going to heat up pretty quick because your tomatoes are really hot, okay? But once you're over here, look here. Your tomatoes are going to literally, the skin's going to just come off. You want to let them sit in here for a minute because they're extremely hot, okay? Now, the skin, I've got a bowl sitting over here. I'm putting my skin in the bowl, okay? We're going to put all of our skin in the bowl. I've got a paring knife, okay? I don't want to lose the juice. I've got a pot right here. All right. I'm going to pare out I'm going to core it, okay? So we're going to take all the core out of this. We don't want to keep any of the core. If you don't core it, they'll burn, okay? So make sure you get all this core out of here. So I'm going to mash these up anyway, so I'm going to kind of slice it around it. So see all this core part? I'm leaving the seeds, but I want to get the core out. So all the seeds I'm leaving in, but get the core out, okay? They're slippery, guys, so they're slippery, but I'm going to take the core and put it over there. So we'll show you one more. Here's a big one. And as they sit in your cold water, all of these will do this. Now, of course, some of these skins are going to fall out in your water because they're going to slide right off, okay? So you'll have to make sure you get it all out of your water, but make sure that you don't let none of that go down your drain. It might stop up your drain, but I just take my knife, my little paring knife. It's kind of hard doing it the opposite way, not toward me, but I just go right around the core, all the way around the core, and then I make me a little slice going down the side, and then it pulls right open, and all of that will come right out, and you'll have the whole middle section, okay? One more time, let's find. See, all of them look like this one. It don't look like it'll come off, but look, you can pop it, and then it'll come right off. So even if you think that it's not going to come off, you can just pop it. The skin will literally just make a little popping noise. So don't think, even if it looks like it's not going to, it will. Okay? So don't think it won't, because it will. you can just pull it right off of it. See? It might have been one of them that was like closer to the top or something that the, you know, might not have pushed down good enough. But you don't want to lose none of that juice, so always cut this right over your pot. That's why I'm trying to do it right over the pot, but I'm going to try to turn it toward you so you can see. I'm going to take it and go right around that core, right around it, make a slice down the side, and it will pull right open, and it'll come right out. See? And if you got a little piece of skin that didn't come off, just slice it right off with your paring knife, okay? Throw it in your bowl. Now, once you get to this, have all your maters in here, we're going to show you how to the next part in just a minute. So I'm going to have all this full in just a second, okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, so we have got done with skinning all of our tomatoes or maters, however you want to call them. And we really don't have a whole lot of waste. Now, the cores kind of look like this, okay? You don't want to leave this in there because of this is going to make them spoil, okay? So you don't want to do all this work and then them burn, okay? Now, sink-wise, if you do it like the way I'm doing it here and hold it over your bowl, like I've ended up having to go to a bowl after I got my pot full because I had so many maters. But your sink will not be completely like nasty, you know what I mean? So, but I just kind of leave the drain in there, let it go down that way. All this stuff don't go down my drain, and I can throw it in the trash can. But we're going to move over here. I'm going to wash my hands, and we're going to move over here, and we're going to start mashing these up. So I want to set up on a tripod, and that way you can get a good view of how this goes. So let me get this sink cleaned out and wash my hands, and we will mash up some maters. Okay, so we are at the stove. I'm taking off my watch because, you know, you're going to have to stick your hands in this, guys. And we don't have it on or nothing. My hands are clean. You can use, if you have one of them tater mashers or whatever, you want to use that, you can use that. If you want to put it in prayer, whatever you want to do. We mash it up with our hands around here. So you're just going to take them and you're just going to mash them up. So what you want to do is just mash them up with your hands. So we just stick our hands down in here and we just squeeze them between our hands and mash them. And we just want to get all of these mashed up as good as we can get them mashed up. So this is how we do it around here. You're going to get all of the juices and stuff mashed up. Let me just get it over here so you can see. I was trying to get it to where you have like a heads-on view, but I couldn't get it like on my counter to do it right. So hopefully you can see in here that it is, you're just mashing. You're just mashing all these. And I'm getting down here in the bottom. And you're just mashing them. Just squeezing the maters all the way through. And you want them to be, you want your maters, you know, to be in it, but you want them to be mashed all up. So get all your maters mashed up real good and fine, and then we'll start cooking them. So once we get all of this mashed up, I'll come back and show you kind of what it looks like. I'll hold the phone up here and show you what it looks like, and I'll stir it around and show you. But just get in there with your hands, guys, and mash all these up. It ain't gonna hurt you. It might feel a little funny, but it's not gonna hurt you. It's just the best way to do it, in my opinion. It's how we've always done it. At least it ain't like, I guess, how they used to make wine or whatever. Step on it. But you got to get all these mashed up, and just to how we was taught to do it. Just use your hands. This is your best utensil, guys. Just use your hands and get it all mashed up. And as you was peeling them and stuff, if you've seen a bad spot, you should have already cut everything out. So you should, these are good maters here. And everything will look pretty in your jar. We're just getting everything. All the juices and stuff will be in here. These are good over macaroni and cheese. I mean, not cheese, but macaronis. And people just eat this just plain, guys. If you want to do juice, you know, you can just do juice and just squeeze the maters and not have the maters in it. A lot of people just do juice. So, a lot of people just like the juice. And you do it the same way, just don't do the, just don't leave your maters in it. But you can definitely puree it, or use your tater masher, or whatever you want to use, if you don't want to use your hands. We've just always used our hands. But it don't take long to do it. We're almost done here, so. But I'll be right back and I'll show you how we do this, okay? What it looks like. This is what your maters should look like. They're all mashed up by hand. Like I said, you can use whatever you want to mash them up. They're squeezed up by your fingers. Now, they went from this. So, this is what they look like whenever you get them done skinned to this, okay? So, that's the difference. That's what they look like. So, they go from literally this, pretty much whole maters, to this squeezed up maters, okay? That's what they look like. So, when they get here, we're going to take a tablespoon of sugar. So I'm just going to go in here. Now we normally just do it. We normally just sprinkle it in. So, but it's estimated about a tablespoon of sugar. Okay. So put you about a tablespoon of sugar in there. This is optional, guys. You don't have to put this in there if you don't want to. You can just cook them without it. But in our family, this is what we do. And now this is just regular table salt here. I'll show you. Regular, cheap table salt. Alright. This is a teaspoon. We're going to sprinkle that in there. Okay. This is what my family does. Family secret. My mama's mad about me giving this to y'all. We're going to stir this in. We're going to turn it on. Okay, we're going to turn it on. So, I'm stirring this in there. Now, this is what we're going to do. As this is cooking, this is going to get foam that comes to the top. I'm going to get me a bowl and set it over here. And as it's foaming, we're going to skim it off. Every time there's get some foam on there, we're going to skim it off. Every time, skim it off until it strikes a boil. When it starts striking a boil, that's when we're going to start placing it in our jars, okay? So every time there gets some foam, skim it off. Now I'm going to turn it on about medium high here, okay? Medium high. Every time it starts getting some foam, skim it off. It doesn't take long, okay, for this to do. So if it gets some foam, skim it off. All right. So medium high, make sure you skim off the foam. While this is going, I've already got my lids washed and cleaned. We're going to do a heat bath on them. I've got them covered with water. We're going to turn these on. As soon as they start striking a boil, we're going to turn them on just to keep them warm, okay? So we're just going to do a heat bath on them. So just turn your on. As soon as it starts to strike a boil, turn them off, okay? I mean, turn them to low just to keep them warm. It's just a heat bath. We just want them to keep warm for a heat bath, just to go to seal our lids on our jars. But make sure you kind of don't make, keep these cooking. Skim off the, don't stir the foam down into your juice and stuff. Skim off the foam. Do not put it in back into the maters, okay? All right. As soon as it starts getting some foam, I'll come back and show you how I do that, all right? Okay, this is what the foam looks like, and this is what you want to get off of it. So when they get a little bit more foam on there, we'll get it off. And what we're waiting on is for it to strike a good boil, and then we will put it in our jars. But this is what the foam starts looking like, and this is what we're going to start getting off of it here in just a minute. So when it starts boiling good, that's when we will take it off the heat. So I'll come right back and show you when we start skimming off the foam, okay? Okay, it's just been a couple minutes, and we're going to take some of this foam off here. So we just want to take this off. And I've got a bowl over here, and I'm just sticking it in my bowl. So just get all the foam off. And the reason that you want to take it off the heat once it starts boiling real good is because, or striking a good boil, is because these maters pop everywhere. And they're pretty much cooked. They don't take maters long to cook anyway. So they'll be done in no time. It don't take them long to cook. So just get all this off of here real quick. And we'll give them a good stir. So that's all you do is get all this off and then stir them real good, and then if you get some more, get it off again. And we'll come back when it starts boiling, striking a boil. So I'll be right back again. I know these steps to canning takes a minute, but it's worth it. See you in just a second. So just keep skimming. If you're doing this with me anyway. Now when our lids look like this right here, when the lids start doing that, but now it's time we can turn these down to low just to keep them good and warm, or medium low, however. But if you don't keep them warm, it will they won't seal, okay? So you want to make sure they keep that hot, okay? And as we're doing that, it's time to skim again, okay? So take all of this, move it to the side, skim it up. Don't get your maters, guys. Make sure you leave your maters, because your maters are cooking, okay? So try not to get your maters out of there, because your maters, you want to keep all them in there. And see, we're starting to strike a bull, but it's not everywhere. You want to make sure that bull is everywhere, okay? Make sure your maters are cooking, all right? Not just in one area. So after we get this off here, we'll stir them a little bit, make sure that it's heating all the way through, okay? Because you want it to be cooked through, but not like, here we go. See how it's doing? There. It's heating. Looking good. Get all this foam off here. Now that right there is maters. That's not foam, see? That's it boiling the maters up. Just make sure you get the foam. We don't want no foam. But see, that's more foam. So make sure you get all that foam off. It'll produce foam as they're cooking, but see, that boiling has stopped now. You got to keep that, make sure it keeps that boiling. If it ain't done. We'll give it a few more minutes. You'll have quite a bit of foam to come off these, guys. So, just make sure you get all that off there. You don't want that in your jars. Because as of right now, like I'm still getting some foam off these. And look there. I mean, we've got quite a bit of foam. But these are just about done here. There we go. I think we're just about done. Yep. All right, I'm gonna turn this off, get the rest of this foam off, and I'll be right back, and we'll start putting them in our jars. I'll be right back, guys, because that's done. You see that? That's done. So let me turn my heat off, and we'll be right back, and we'll start loading up these jars. All right, we're going to load up these jars. I've got all of it skimmed off in my bowl. And I've got one of these on there. If you don't have one of these have been like handed down probably from my mama. You want to make sure you got juice, you got maters. This is not something that's a clean process, guys. It splatters. It's something you're going to have to clean up after, just so you know. And whenever I fill them up to where this thing goes in my jar. See? That's where you want to fill it up to. See how that is? That's where it goes. And then I set this in my other jar. I take these into this pot over here and get out because I have these already stacked. Let me see if I can turn you around. And I just pick it up. I pour the water out of it because they're hot. That water's been boiling. And this is where you're going to need your towel. Like I said, I use towels. I don't use those fancy stuff. And then I just tighten up my lid and set it over here to let it seal, okay? That's how I do it. So, then we grab another one, do the same thing. And I give it a stir every time I fill up another jar, okay? I try to set it as close as I can to the pot. That way it's not completely dripping everywhere. But this is how it's done. This is good in chili, soups. You can put it in about anything. Spaghettis. You make your own sauces, but this is how we can maters here at my house. I hope you all have enjoyed this. And this is how we do it. If you all have any questions, please put them in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer any comments. And if you all do it a different way, I would love to know how you all do it. But from our farm to yours, we love you all. God bless you. And we'll be doing more stuff later on. And don't throw out those scraps. Use them in your garden. You know, there's plenty of things you can do with those. Don't waste nothing, all right? So we'll see you next time from our Tennessee farm. We love you. God bless you. Toodaloo.